best friends, my classmates, people I followed online, quote unquote gurus or self-improvers, fail. And back to back with the exact same cycle every single time. Then I started to wonder, is their failure a willpower problem, a discipline problem, or the lack of basic common sense? It was a common sense problem. And that's because over 90% of the side hustles that I've witnessed fail with, and that's because over 90% of the side hustles that I've seen have failed within the first year, not because the people starting them are lazy, but because the model itself is broken for Gen Z specifically. Gen Z wants to make quick and easy money, and don't get me wrong, side hustles are great for quick money, but it's not easy money, and you have to know what you're doing. And the thing is, nobody knows how to make a high value offer. Nobody knows how to acquire clients. Nobody knows how to build long-term money and actually implement the lessons that they've learned. Within these problems, I've recognized 3 core mechanisms. I'm going to walk you through all of them, and then I'm going to show you what actually works. I'm 19 years old, I'm dropping out of my university with a 4.33 GPA and $40,000 in debt. My goal is to retire my family by 25, and I want to set up a retirement fund for my future family. I want a wife and I want kids. Every single week I'm documenting what's working and what's failing in real time. That way you can actually learn from me and you can achieve your own goals in life. So feel free to subscribe if you want to follow along my journey. I post every single Saturday, at least I try to, and I'm not going anywhere. Mechanism number 1, the capital trap. So think of it like investing. To invest and make a lot of money, you need a lot of money to invest regularly at a consistent rate unless you want to take a bunch of risks. The truth is, it's the same with side hustles. Most side hustle models require capital to generate capital. For Etsy, you need materials, shipping, licensing fees. Even the passive income models like software subscriptions, tools, paid courses, none of this is free because it's going to take a lot more of your time than you're going to realize. Here's where it gets worse. The people selling you these models, posting their testimonials, not their profit. So if somebody posts $8,000 a month on Etsy, what they're not posting is the $5,200 in materials, shipping, fees, and tools. That's not $8,000. That's 2.8 grand. And that's less money than what you'd get just working some sort of job. Now sure, you can scale the side hustle much more than you can scale working at a bar, but by the end of the day, no one's coming to you saying, oh yeah, you're gonna make 8 grand a month working at this bar. No, someone's gonna come up to you and say, hey, do you wanna work at this job? You're not gonna get paid a lot of money. People are gonna come in smelling like crap and drunk asking for free drinks, but I'm gonna pay you barely whatever you can get. And there you go. That's your first job. As opposed to someone coming to you and telling you, hey, you're gonna make 8 grand a month, it's gonna be super easy and you won't need to learn anything. It's bogus. It's a fantasy. What makes things even worse is that Gen Z is starting from a deficit. So yeah, you need money to make money, but the average student loan debt in America is over $20,000. Putting capital into a model with hidden costs and thin margins on top of existing debt is not entrepreneurship. It's gambling or just horrible investing. It's a hole getting deeper. It's literally just basic math. And common sense tells you, don't do this unless you know what you're doing. And again, you probably don't. Mechanism number 2, the skill illusion. You've probably seen exceptions. The person who scales their Etsy up to 6 figures, or the dropshipper who is able to hit 50 grand a month. They exist, and they make up conservatively about 1% of the 1% who try it. So you're already incredibly rare. You're a part of the 1% of people who want to become an entrepreneur. Most people don't exist like you. And if you think about it, how many people are actually successful within your field? So the 1% who do succeed, well, they stuck with it long enough to develop a real skill. They got paid traffic, they got supply chain management, product research, conversion copy, and the other 90%, they quit before any of that happened. And here's the real problem no one talks about. People quit with nothing. No transferable skill, no portfolio, no proof of capability, and nothing to point to. People don't care if you've mowed lawns or if you've done a bit of landscaping. People don't care if you've done a bit of drop shipping or website creation. They want real skills. Skills that say, hey, I'm gonna make you more money or get you more clients or help you do a better job that makes you more money. That's what businesses want to hear. So you get 2 years of hustle and you walk away with stories instead of real skills. That's the real cost, not the money you've spent. It's the years and years that you've spent becoming good at something that cannot compound long term. Mechanism number 3, the wrong problem. Most side hustles solve the wrong problem. They solve, I need more money right now. Well, if you need more money right now, get a job. Problem 0 is the problem you need to address before you can get the I need more money problem, or before you can get the I need to build a business problem. Because to make money, well, you need to go do something. To build a business, you need to figure out what you want to do. Problem 0 is, how do I become someone who can generate income on demand? Trying to make money is reactive because you don't have money, but trying to build skills, trying to become someone who can make money is structural. That leads to someone who can generate money in the future. So here's what you're going to do. Build skill first, then income is going to follow your skills. not the other way around. You don't just make money and then you build the skills to make money. I mean, think of a millionaire. He had to work like a millionaire for years and then he made the money. It's the same way as a bodybuilder is going to go to the gym every day and do the same things and then he's going to build his muscle. Nobody's just given money or given muscle. And I'm a strong believer that markets reward depth, not busyness, not hustle. Markets reward your depth, your skills. Now I know what you're thinking. What if I need money right now? What if I can't wait 6 months to build a skill? That's a real question, and I had it too. And the psychological weight of betting on yourself when everyone else around you is betting on the traditional path is heavy, and I'm not gonna pretend it's not. Being an entrepreneur or trying to get that top percentage of a percentage is really difficult. But here's something I wish somebody told me when I first begun. When you have the right information and a specific skill, and a clear offer, you can land your first client within not months, but only a couple of days. I'm not talking about building the audience first. I'm talking about a direct conversation with a specific person who has a specific problem that you just learned how to solve. Leave a comment below. What's the biggest thing stopping you right now from charging a skill that you already have? I read and reply to every single one. So here's how we solve these problems. I call it solving problem 0. And it's got 3 big steps, and I'm going to walk you through each one specifically, including the exact inputs I use with the people I work with right now. I love calling it solving problem 0 because it just means that we're able to solve the problems before we focus on making money or building a business. The real core foundation that avoids us from making the mistakes that we so obviously make in side hustles. I'm going to walk you through each step specifically, including the exact inputs I use with each client that I currently work with. Step 1. Determining your most valuable skill. Pause this video right now and grab a pen and a paper. Seriously. Or open up a Google Sheets or whatever you can get and write down what I'm going to tell you. Write out 6 to 10 specific skills you have. Specific skills like video editing, email writing, social media management, bookkeeping, web design, consulting, financing, conversational skills, whatever you've actually done. Then for each skill, run it through this checklist and you're going to add one little tick for each one that applies. Number 1. Did you learn this skill casually without it feeling like effort? So for example, editing was really easy for me. It didn't take much effort because I enjoyed it. Number 2, do you enjoy using or learning it right now? So even though I really enjoyed editing back then, I don't really enjoy it right now. Number 3, do other people consider your skill work or tedious? For me, it'd be a big yes. Other people hate editing. They consider it work or incredibly tedious. That's why people pay for editors. Number 4, do other people experience real pain from not having your skill? People pay for editors because they understand their videos are going to do worse and they're going to have the pain of experiencing less views on their videos when the editing is of lower quality. Number 5, is the need for the skill growing? Again, that'd be a big yes for me. Editing is growing. As there's more and more content creators, there's more and more people who don't know how to edit. Sure, there's AI that can do clipping, but what about long form content? You still need an editor. Number 6, can you teach this to somebody else without struggling to explain it? So that'd be some sort of skill you can teach to someone without mumbling or trying to mess about. Something that you actually understand through and through that you can explain to somebody else. So for me, again, that'd be a huge yes. I love editing and I can easily teach it to anybody. 7, do people currently pay for the skill in the market? Again, that's a huge yes. People pay for editing. But think about yourself right now. Are any of the skills on your list of paper? Do people pay for them? And lastly, number 8, do you personally know someone right now who would pay for it? And that's the problem for me. I don't know a single person right now who would pay for editing. Do you know anyone who would currently pay for your skill? The skill with the most amount of points, the most amount of little ticks. That's your starting point. It might not be your passion, it might not be your dream, but it's the highest leverage asset you have right now. It's a skill you can teach and get paid for probably by the end of the week. Step 2, build your baseline offer. There's a difference between a product, a service, and an offer. A product is something tangible and scalable, so think of a plushie. A service is something that's customized, it's intangible, and it's time dependent, so think of someone doing roofing services. An offer combines both services and a product into a complete value proposition. It has a specific outcome, a specific time frame for a specific person with a guarantee. So for example, teaching young editors with barely any skills how to edit professionally and get their first client within 3 months. It has a tangible outcome, it's measurable, right? Not just grow your business, but learn how to edit professionally, and within 3 months you're gonna get your first client. That's the guarantee. And so we have a time frame, we have a specific market, right? Young editors. And then within the guarantee, I can also add a money back guarantee. But it's also worth noting, you want a unique method. And the unique method doesn't always have to be the secret sauce or the special course that only you have access to, but it can be who you are as a person. Sure, I like editing, but not as much as I used to. Now I love talking about relationships. I love talking about family. And so my unique method can be using editing that can communicate feeling of family, feeling of connectiveness. You can feel a lot more connected as the audience to the creator. And now that you know what your big skill is and what your offer is going to look like, let's figure out your price. I want you to stand in front of a mirror. I'm not joking. Think of everything we just talked about and name a price out loud. Name it as high as you can without smiling. For example, if you're going to sell your little offer for $1 million, you're probably going to crack a little bit of a smile. But $500, $10, $20, $30, $40, $100, you know, it might start to sound a little bit more realistic. That's your starting point. Your instincts already know what your work is worth. Trust the number that makes you a little uncomfortable. Step number 3, find your market and get your first client. Think of it this way, your market needs 4 crucial things. Your market needs, firstly, pain, because if they don't have pain, how are they supposed to want anything else? Your market also needs money, because if they don't have money, how can they buy your offer? Also, your market has to be easy to target, because if you can't locate your market, whether you're finding them online or in person, how can you sell things to anyone? And then finally, is your market growing? This is a big deal, because if you want to build a business that is growing long term, well, then you need a market that's growing. If you have a market that's diminishing, you're going to eventually spend decades and decades and possibly billions of dollars into a business that's shrinking. People do this all the time. It's why companies fall into the sunk cost fallacy, and instead of just selling off the company or reusing their resources by starting again, they just waste it all on trying to do whatever they can to get those last few clients. But if any of those had a no, if your market doesn't have pain, if they don't have money, if it's not easy to target, and if it's not growing, that's the wrong market and you need to readjust. There's no arguing these things. It has to all work out. Now, research your market. Not to just build an audience, but to understand how they think. Go into Reddit, YouTube comments, Facebook groups, Discord DMs, TikTok, Google, Instagram. Find the exact words they use to describe their problems. Do people want to buy your offer because they want to make more money? Or because they want to pay off their debt? Because they want to be better at conversational skills? Or because they want to woo their girlfriend more often? Is it because they want to learn how to play the guitar because they just want a skill? Or is it because they want to impress their parents? You want to do this because the best outreach message doesn't sound like a pitch where you're telling them about your offer. It sounds like you just read their mind and you know exactly why they're struggling. And it just so happens you have the solution. So I want you to identify 5 specific people this week. Not 500, just 5 real people. Because you don't need 500 clients right now. You just need 5 people, 5 testimonials to show it works. And then send them a message. Tell them exactly what you do, exactly what results you provide, and that you're working with a small number of people right now. Your first client will not find you. You find them. And if you don't have a portfolio yet, offer your first engagement at a discount or completely free in exchange for their testimonial. That's what Alex Hormozi did and a bunch of other famous entrepreneurs. That testimonial is your first asset. That's real leverage. And then you can really charge like crazy as you grow. So here's a quick recap of everything I just talked about and an action plan for you to implement right away. Step 1, write out 6 to 10 skills. Run the 8-point checklist, pick your top score, that's your skill to stick with for your business. Step 2, build your offer, and it has to have 6 crucial components: an optimal market, a specific guarantee, a unique method, and a worthwhile price. Do the mirror exercise. Set your price you're slightly uncomfortable with, because price is going to drive you to do better. And that's going to cause you to add more value to your offer as opposed to just being commoditized and competing with everyone else doing more for less. Step 3, qualify your market against the 4 criteria. Research how they talk about their pain. Get to know them. Send the message this week. With only 4 clients right now and a channel that's barely getting any views, I'm not looking back at this from success. I'm in it with you right now. I'm just a little bit ahead, so I know a little bit more than you, and I'm trying to teach you as much as I can within the time that I'm given. That's the whole point of this channel. Solving Problem Zero isn't a course, it's a process, and I'm documenting every step of it, every Saturday hopefully. If you like the sound of solving problem zero and you want me to work with you personally to identify your skill, build your offer, and land your first client within only 1 to 3 weeks, then the link is in the description below. Since I'll be working full-time over the summer and all of this is free as I'm trying to get my first testimonials, I only have 3 more available spots. Anyways, I'll see you next week.